Thank you for listening to my podcast. My name is Sylvie, and I want to start this podcast by telling you that I received a lot of questions about what helped me in my journey. To answer these questions, I wrote an ebook about the 7 things that helped me the most. You can download it for free and receive it right away in your inbox. Click on the link in the description or go to my website, theconcussioncommunity.com is the first thing you will see. I hope it's helping you. For now, let's continue with this episode. Post Concussion Syndrome and Negative Thoughts. How I let go of them in 6 steps. Negative thoughts and stress are something that most people are dealing with while having a concussion. Sometimes you are really stuck in your head and it feels like you will never get out of this negative spiral. I try to figure out what process worked best for me for my concussion healing journey and would love to share it with you. Did you know that we have around 20,000 thoughts every day? The trouble is, when all your thoughts take over your mind, your negative thoughts can interfere with everyday activities, interrupt sleep, and preventing us from healing. This is common with anxiety, and that's why I want to share the 6 steps that could help you start letting go of those negative thoughts. Step 1. Take a step back. First of all, remember that your thoughts are not your thoughts. You are just holding on to them right now. I find it helpful to name my negative thoughts. Every time a negative thought comes up, I say, "Oh, hi, Betty." Yes, that's what I called him. "What do you have for me today?" Your thoughts are the passenger, not the driver. No matter how difficult they feel, keep in mind they are always temporary. I've always had thoughts like, my concussion will stay this bad forever, or I'm not able to move forward in my healing journey. Step 2. Acknowledge your thought. You can try to ignore your thoughts, but I promise they will keep haunting you until you give them your attention. Your thoughts are always trying to convince you to tune in. So be aware of it. Listen to what they have to say and do not ignore them or try to push them away. I always try to find a quiet place and I close my eyes to clear my head. If this doesn't work for you, you can also go for a walk, do some journaling, or just do what feels good for you and makes you able to acknowledge your thoughts. Step 3. Recognize the emotion it provokes in you. I love the saying, if you don't feel it, you don't heal it. It's so true. So after you acknowledge your thought, try to notice how you feel while you have this thought. I see negative thoughts as an invitation to explore something. Try to tune in on every thought, say how you feel about that thought, and take 10 deep breaths to calm down that thought. After I do this, I always thank that thought so I don't see it as a negative thing anymore. Step 4. Find the evidence that your thought is just a thought and isn't the truth. Sometimes I have a hard time feeling that thoughts aren't the truth. So I'm looking for evidence. Ask yourself, can I know that my thought is true? 80% of our thoughts are based on fear and aren't happening in real life. So if you don't have evidence that your thought is true or going to be true, it's just a thought. Step 5. Release old, unsupportive negative thoughts. If I can't find any evidence that my negative thought is a fact, I know I have to release that thought. So, for example, I had the thought my concussion will not improve. I couldn't find any evidence for it, so it felt like I needed to release this thought. The way I try to release my negative thoughts is by asking myself those questions. How do I react? What happens when I believe that negative thought? I would be sad, frustrated that my concussion will not improve, right? Why feel sad when you don't even know if it's true? And the other question, how would I feel without that thought? Without having that thought, I would be more motivated to find ways to heal my concussion so I can move forward more easily. Step 6. Create a new positive thought instead. After I went through those steps, I tried to think of something positive. This can be everything: a friend who will visit me that day, a lovely meal, the sun is shining, or something you look forward to. Going through those 6 steps really helps me to let go of a negative thought and had a positive effect on my healing journey. I know it's not always easy, and I would be lying if it worked all the time, but try it when you're feeling stuck. Releasing negativity will help to move forward. And I believe that every thought is a seed planted. So ask yourself, what seeds are you planting? Thank you for listening to my podcast. I really hope this was helpful for you. If it was, I would love it if you share it on Instagram, in a story or in a post, and tag the Concussion Community in it. I just love to see who's listening. And one last thing, are you listening on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts? Would you maybe do one small thing in return? Leave a short review. The more reviews this podcast will get, the easier it is for other people to find this podcast and to feel less alone and lost in their journey. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you next time.